There is a lot of pressure right now on everyone, not just emotionally, but logistically. Your color costs are up, your shipping costs are up, and your guests are probably stretching out their visits while your team is watching everything that you do like it's a clue to what's going to happen next. So many owners out there are asking themselves, am I doing something wrong? Or is this just our new reality? The truth is, it's kind of both. The landscape has completely changed, but most salons, they haven't adjusted fast enough in order to match this new landscape. They're still pricing and planning and spending based on what worked 2 years ago or 4 years ago or 8 years ago, not what's happening right now. You cannot run a 2025 salon on 2009 math. You just can't. That's like trying to stream Netflix on dial-up, right? It's frustrating, it's slow, and it's going to end with nobody being able to watch anything. So if you're out there and you are spinning your wheels, here's why. You're probably absorbing increases without raising your rates strategically. You're offering services that aren't actually making you any money. You're running a team without enough structure or shared responsibility. And worst of all, you aren't talking about it. We have to be honest. Some of you guys are out there and you're doing luxury services at Costco prices and wondering why the math ain't mathin'. Chandra and I see this every day. Chandra, let's say someone already raised prices once this year and they are terrified to do it again, but their margins are disappearing. What is the real move that they need to make?
Oh, I mean, I think there's a few things that you need to do in those situations, but I feel like the biggest thing that's going to impact it is really diving into what's going on with your numbers, like looking at the trends, looking at, are things down? What do I need to do? Because you can't just raise your prices with no plan. You have no plan and you can't just raise your prices and hope that's enough. You need to know exactly what is going on to know how much you need to raise them so that you're covered and you're not just raising them again every single, 3 months because you're trying to play catch up every 3 months.
Yeah, absolutely. And while you are there and you're trying to manage all that crap that's behind the scenes, you need to understand that your team is feeling it, even if you haven't said a word. And that tension that you have, it shows up in your tone, in your energy, and your team is going to respond to whatever you project. And so you have to be really, really careful about that. I feel like this is where leadership really, really shows up. You don't need to pretend that everything's perfect, but you do have to anchor the room. You have to talk to your team. You have to be honest, but you have to be confident at the same time. So you have to let them know what's shifting and you need to remind them what hasn't changed. And that's always going to be the mission, the standard, and the vision, right? If you don't hold that line, your culture is going to start to crumble when it comes to this type of economy and these types of strongholds and these types of landscapes that we're trying to work through. Chandra, what would you say to the owner who's trying to lead with heart, but they are really scared of being seen as too soft or losing complete control?
I think you really do need to talk to your team. Like for example, we just went through this in my salon a little bit because we are dealing with a lot of the same things. Everybody's dealing with it. And we sat down and had a very real conversation at our meeting and I laid it out for them. And I said, this is the stuff we're dealing with. This is what we have going on. We will get through this together. And these are the things that we can do to help get through it. And then I enrolled them to help come up with some ideas that we can navigate, this new space right now that we're dealing with. And really it helped bond our team more because knowing exactly kind of where the landscape is, knowing exactly what the things that we're having to change with maybe pricing or cutting a cost somewhere or doing something right now to get through this, having them be a part of that journey and having them help, it really kind of bonded everyone together and to work together to come up with ways that we can navigate this and get through it as a team instead of just me feeling like, I don't want them to know any of this stuff is going on and I'm just going to handle it or I'm just going to do this or that. you've got to really talk to your team and enroll them in being part of helping get through a lot of these things.
Absolutely. And I think something that people overlook all the time is you can lead with empathy and still have standards. You can hold space and still hold people accountable, right? That's what this moment really calls for. It's leadership that is clear and not chaotic. However, a lot of salon owners, because we are just who we are, we get in that chaos mindset and it just causes this ripple effect. This is where we have to stop reacting and we have to start leading on purpose, not just fluffy ideas that we're throwing out here to you guys, right? These are real moves, real leadership moves that you have to do.